Okay.
Let's talk about what's happened on the Pro Golf Tour.
Yeah, the British Open is underway.
I spent the whole day. Dumbass woke up at 3:15 this morning. I couldn't sleep.
Really?
So I had to turn on the British Open. It's being played in Port Royal Island, right on the northern tip of Ireland. Royal Portbush is the name of the course. And this morning, the storylines in the first round of the British Open, or as they call it, the Open, were rain, wind, fog, black and gray skies. And the conversation involved the links, the style of golf course it's constructed, the high grass as high as your waist. If you lose the ball in there, you're in trouble. The pothole bunkers, the swales on the fairways, the sloped greens, and the phrase I heard the most today, bad lies. Everybody had bad lies. If you hit that thing off the fairway, pal, you're in trouble. And then as the day went on, the scores went up, and then the topic became the wind. Because a chunk of those holes, Calamity Corner and the Windmill Hole, they are right on the ocean. And that wind was blowing 20 miles an hour. You're hitting into the wind, and suddenly the ball is going boom. You're trying to putt on slick greens with swales, and suddenly the wind is taking your ball. It's going there. Golfers were losing their mind. I think the most important word for golfers, resiliency, because you got to be able to cope with the crap in the first round of the British Open in Ireland. 5-way tie for first place after the first round, led by Harris English. He had 7 birdies today in the midst of all this weather. He's part of a group with Matt Fitzpatrick tied at 67, 4 under par. In a group at 68, guy that doesn't play well on links courses, Scottie Scheffler. 9 guys tied for third place at 69. At 70, where did this come from? Phil Mickelson shot a 70 today in the British Open, along with John Rahm and the Irishman Shane Lowry. In the group at even par, Rory McIlroy. He was hot, he was cold, he was in trouble, he got out of trouble. He had 3 bogeys in a 4-hole span, and yet he wound up even par. At 71, Xander Schauffele. Now, he was part of the really early start. At 73, the refugees from LIV, Dustin Johnson, etc. At 75, more refugees from LIV, Brooks Koepka. And at 78, he did everything except throw his clubs into the Irish Sea. Bryson DeChambeau shot a 78, kind of shot himself out. But I'll tell you, to sit there and watch it and understand how challenging it is, and I love the skyline, and I love the scenery, and I love the pageantry, and the courses, with apologies borrowing some obscenity from you, they are a bitch. And it is so much fun to watch the British Open. So, it starts, the second round starts at 10:30 tonight, our time. So I think it's on USA Today, USA Network today. They do the early second round. That's where I found it this morning at 3:15 in the morning. So get a chance, watch it. Got to be resilient, because that weather is going to beat your brains out. But everybody else is going to be in the same set of circumstances. So you wouldn't last 3 holes on the British Open. I've seen you shoot.
The strategy for the golfer must be a little different, because maybe they're using more of those 1-irons and just kind of keeping it low, right?
Can't hit it in the wind because it's going to do that.
Exactly. So you got to keep the ball down. But it's like it's cool how it's almost like the American Gladiators. We got to go over this crazy course to kind of get to the greens. I mean, because I remember as a young man watching it seemed kind of boring, that there were no trees. It was very windswept.
It's called links golf. It's what England and Scotland and Ireland's all about.
Yeah. See, now we get it, at least how I get it. So, I'll be tuning in. How's our buddy Xander Schauffele doing? He's a local kid.
What did he shoot today? I just mentioned him. He shot a 71. So he's still in it. He's 4 back.
Right on.
He's trying to recapture his game. But I was very impressed with McIlroy, because his emotional mood swings were all over the place. And he's feeling the exerted pressure of he's from Ireland.
Oh yeah, this is his thing.
You know, the first time he played there, he absolutely freaked out. He shot an 8 on the first hole. He was so amped and he couldn't control it. He just had all kinds of problems. He was much more cerebral, emotionally in check, but yet he had good holes and some really bad holes on the back nine. And then yet he rallied, but he was fighting to win. I mean, you see these guys stand over the ball and their shirt is blowing like this, and these guys are trying to hit it and not have the wind blow it off. It was really amazing. Second topic on the table, NASCAR. This is really complicated. I don't know how this is going to end up. We've talked about the charter controversy. If you're going to race in NASCAR, John Riley, your team has to buy a charter from NASCAR. The charter from NASCAR guarantees you the chance to start in every one of the 36 races. Guaranteed starting spot on the grid. It guarantees you a fixed amount of money in sponsorship. NASCAR divvies up their sponsorship pie in each team that has a charter. Well, Michael Jordan, 23X team, and Front Row Racing, the other team, filed an antitrust lawsuit against NASCAR saying, this is collusion. You can't force these terms on our teams and then not give us a better cut of the pie. And you're making all the decisions and mandating to us what we're going to get after we buy the charter. They want more free enterprise. Well, NASCAR then said, you're not going to sign the agreement? You can't get the guarantees. You can only qualify for races. Good luck to you. You probably wind up in the back of the pack, and you're not going to get the bigger cut of the pie. So then the 23X and Front Row Racing got an injunction. Judge ruled if they're going to race under terms of the charter. So they start the NASCAR season, and these guys who are suing NASCAR are getting the benefits of the charter because the judge gave them an injunction and said, NASCAR, you got to cut the pie and they have to be included. Then NASCAR just came back and they got a second judge to overrule the first judge that said they have a right to kick them out. And by the way, 23X and Front Row, you got to return some of the sponsorship money you already got from NASCAR. You're racing without a charter. You can race, you can qualify, but you're not right because you're filing this antitrust lawsuit. This thing has gone on and on and on. And now I think they're going to the state Supreme Court, which is the final step before they go to the Supreme Court in Washington, D.C. I mean, this is so ugly. And yet the NASCAR season goes on and on. But there's a lot of bitterness against Michael Jordan and against Front Row Racing because they're fighting the system that's been in place since 1948.
See, I'd like to see those guys in there, especially if they're multi-sport stars. Mm-hmm. I think that brings a lot more attention to the sport. But isn't this sort of like, let's say you and I got together and we got to be buddies with Irwin Jacobs, the founder of Qualcomm, and he decided to fund us. And we're going to start the new San Diego Chargers. And darn it, we want to be in the NFL. And we're going to force our way into the NFL. I mean, the NFL could just say, get the heck out of here. I mean, this is our league. And even if we had charters to sell, I'm not going to sell one to you. So screw you, so I can see how NASCAR is in the power position, and frankly, rightfully so.
Is it an antitrust violation, though? If they tell you, me, and Irwin Jacobs, you can't be in the NFL. Is that not an antitrust violation? When we have all the money and we're doing things correctly? No.
Yeah. I mean, that's all part where they're going to argue in court, but it is these sports leagues do have kind of a monopoly over the system, and the competitive leagues never really do well. Although in auto racing, there's some excellent competitive leagues.
Okay, so the question I should pose: we have such a large clientele that follows us. You think there are any rednecks out there? You think there are any good old boys, any NASCAR fans out there?
Yeah.
Want to join us, Fans Forum chat box?
I think so, yeah.
Good. You have a charter? Show me your driver's license. Looking for NASCAR
Show me your papers.
Yeah, NASCAR fan, you're invited to join us too. Time for